What is up, everyone? StonePost 34 here, bringing you more of Growing Up with StonePost. I had a few YouTube messages over the months wanting to know how I met my wife. So that's what this is going to be about, how I met my wife. And there's a few things in the story I got to let you know. A friend of mine, Heather, was trying to set me up with her. Okay, so let me give you the how it went down. It was 1999, and my brother and I had just signed a lease. It was October on a house. He had just moved back from Chicago. He was going through a divorce. So we signed this lease, and she calls me up, and she says, "Hey, I want you to come out. There's a KU Nebraska game, and would love for you to come over to the house. I got someone I want you to meet." Well, problem is, that's the day we were moving. So I just told Heather, I'm like, we're moving. I said, maybe we can do something later, see if we can work it out. She said, well, if not, come over after the game. We're going to have an after party. I'm like, fine, whatever, you know. And so my brother and I moved all day, just exhausting work. I mean, him and I are both pretty big guys, but that's a lot of furniture. He had a lot of stuff. So we get everything moved, and then I kind of spaced it off. And Heather calls me up. She's like, are you coming over? I wanted you to meet this girl. I'm like, oh, yeah, forgot. Okay. Well, so I show up to the house, and I remember walking up on the porch, and I figured it had to be her because I knew everyone else. For the most part, I knew everyone else, or they appeared to be with a date or something. And she didn't, and I was like, man, all right, you got my interest. Okay, cool. So we wind up the whole group goes to this bar. And so we're hanging out at the bar, sitting around, and it was the cheapest, dirtiest bar you've ever seen. We had plastic resin tables and chairs and stuff. So we're sitting there, and there's about 16 of us, and some are couples, some are married, some are not married, like myself. And one thing I didn't tell you, Heather likes to take credit for us meeting. She was trying to I found this out later. She called my buddy Clint, too, and said, hey, there's this girl I want you to meet. If you are interested, maybe I can set you up with her. Well, same girl happens to be my wife, so she can't really take that much credit for it. So anyway, we're sitting at this table, and I'll never forget, there's kind of a douche guy in our circle of friends. He was married at the time. He's the one-upsmanship. Like, anything you say, he one-ups you. So, you know, you could say, well, in high school I scored 25 points in a basketball game. I guarantee you he scored more than 25 more than once. So just one of those guys. So we're sitting around and we're talking, and he starts talking about all these fights he got into. And then how he, kicked all these guys' butts and sent this guy to the hospital. He's just trying to impress everybody. And I'm like, dude, this is retarded. So I finally just say, like, that gets, the 10 seconds of silence that happens in a big conversation. I'm like, well, I got shot once. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I got shot when I was in Chicago in high school. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm kidding. I'm just to show them how stupid it is to tell all these stupid stories. So I wind up going over to this other table by myself. And all these people are walking in. I know some of them. And I have all these chairs tipped up, acting like when new people come in that they're going to come join me. And long story short, my wife, well, not at the time, but she thought I was funny. And she wound up coming over and talking to me. And so we were hanging out, and we wind up going back to Heather's house. And it was daylight savings time that night. And we're just chilling, hanging out, just talking about everything from our families to college to what we do for work. And we're just hanging out on the porch. And basically, well, okay. So we're hanging out on the porch, and it's about 3 o'clock in the morning because of daylight savings time, because we left the bar at like 2. She had to go to a Chiefs game the next day. Oh, no, she had to watch her nephew because her brother was going to the Chiefs game. That's right. I'm sorry. And she's like, I got to get going. And we'd been drinking, and Heather came out. She's like, you guys, you're not driving anywhere. And I'm like, cool. Yeah, right. Okay. So Heather's like, well, I've got the spare bedroom if you guys want to go in there. And I'm like, yeah, right. Why wouldn't you? Right. So we're tired, and so we go back in the room. I'll never forget. I strip down into my boxers, and she's fully clothed there, and she stays fully clothed, which is fine. And I basically lean over and give her a kiss on the cheek. That was it. I swear that was it. That's the first night we spent together, and so it's kind of funny, I guess. But so we get up the next morning and we were tired. She had to leave. I think she had to be at her brother's at 9, so she got up about 8, and she's like, goes to the front door. I'm like, hey, I had a great time. It's really nice to meet you. And I said, I'm kind of doing this backwards. Can I get your phone number? It's kind of funny because we did spend the night together. However, nothing happened. It's not like someone said they spent the night with someone. But so I got her phone number. She gave me her business card, wrote her house number on the back, and believe it or not, and whenever I talk to someone, I tell them the story. I still have the card in my wallet. I've never taken it out of my wallet. Still have the card. Still have her old number from 11 years ago, whenever that was. And so yeah, that's how we met. And it was kind of funny. I've got another story I should tell you about her coming up when I had a house party, because like I said, it kind of was real casual. Yeah, we spent the night, but nothing happened. So it was never really said if it was official. In fact, later on in the relationship, like a month into it, we were hanging out, and I looked at her. I said, "Are we dating?" And she said, "Yeah, right." I said, "Yeah, that's great. I just, you come up here a lot. I come up to your place a lot. We spend every weekend together, and we've never even just come out and said, yeah, we're exclusive, official." She goes, "I'm fine if you are." Just that, that's how easy it is. And my buddy, who was the best man at my wedding, who actually I play Black Ops with sometimes on here, he's got a good saying, because I was always worried about it not meeting the right person. He said, "Greg, if you have to ask if it's the right person, it probably isn't the right person." So that's just a little pro tip for you guys. If you have to ask if your girlfriend's the right person or your boyfriend, probably not the right person. So take care as always, guys. This is StonePost 34.